Imagine this scenario. You've just finished a long day at work, and as you settle into bed, ready to relax, your mind doesn't seem to have received the memo. Instead, it's replaying conversations, wrestling with decisions you've made, or fretting about your to-do list for tomorrow. You turn restlessly, glancing at the clock, ticking off minutes, hours, time spent in fruitless contemplation. Or perhaps, imagine you're starting a new project, and instead of diving in with enthusiasm, you find yourself paralyzed, bogged down by the fear of making wrong choices, each option seeming to branch into a myriad of what-ifs and maybes. This, my friends, is the exhausting world of overthinking, a common trap that can easily ensnare even the sharpest minds. It can make us doubt our decisions, stall our progress, and sometimes rob us of our peace of mind. But what if there were a way to break free from this cycle? Today, we delve into the ancient philosophy of Stoicism that offers just that. This video introduces 7 powerful lessons derived from Stoic teachings that can help you stop overthinking for good. These lessons aren't just philosophical ideals, but practical, actionable strategies that you can incorporate into your daily routine to regain control over your thoughts. By embracing these Stoic practices, you will learn to channel your mental energy more productively, ensuring that overthinking no longer overwhelms your vitality or obstructs your success. Ready to take back the reins of your mind? Let's explore these transformative strategies together. Number 1. Embrace the present moment. The first lesson from Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment, a powerful antidote to the rampant overthinking that plagues many of us. Overthinking typically involves ruminating over past events or worrying about future possibilities, both realms where chaos can reign because we no longer have influence over the past and the future hasn't yet arrived. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, eloquently stated, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This Stoic lesson isn't merely a quote to be admired, but a practical guide for everyday life. When you focus your mind on where you are and what you are doing right now, you shut out the distractions and hypothetical scenarios that fuel overthinking. To truly embrace the present, begin by acknowledging that the only moment you can control is this one right here, right now. This realization liberates you from the chains of past regrets and future anxieties. But how does one remain in the present amidst life's inevitable distractions? Start by practicing mindfulness throughout your daily activities. For example, when eating, pay attention to the flavors, textures, and sensations of your food, rather than letting your mind wander to your next task or replay prior events. During conversations, focus intently on listening to the other person, observing their expressions and hearing their words, rather than planning what you'll say next. Another beneficial practice is to engage in regular mindful breathing exercises. Whenever you find yourself slipping into an overthinking mode, pause and bring your focus to your breath. Take slow, deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, concentrating solely on the feeling and sound of your breathing. This simple exercise can act as an anchor, bringing you back to the present moment. By cultivating a habit of living in the now, you'll notice a significant reduction in overthinking. Each moment spent fully engaged in the present is a moment stolen back from the clutches of unnecessary worry and speculation. Embrace the present moment wholly and watch as your mind unburdens itself, creating space for peace and clear thinking. Number 2. Distinguish between controllables and uncontrollables. A central pillar of Stoic philosophy that immensely aids in curbing overthinking is the discernment between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." Overthinking often stems from our futile attempts to sway the uncontrollable aspects of life, the actions of others, outcomes of events, or the past and future. To apply this Stoic wisdom, start by acknowledging that the only real control we possess is over our own actions, reactions, and internal judgments. External events, no matter how much we might ruminate or stress over them, generally remain beyond our grasp of control. Recognizing this fundamental distinction can significantly reduce the mental burden of trying to manage the unmanageable. Here is how you can practically integrate this lesson into your daily life. Instead of obsessing over the outcomes, be it a project at work, a personal goal, or any other endeavor, shift your focus to your efforts and actions. Commit fully to doing your best, knowing that this is the extent of your control. This shift in focus not only reduces anxiety, but also enhances satisfaction and fulfillment from the actions you take, regardless of the outcomes. To solidify this practice, consider creating a physical separation of concerns. Draw 2 columns on a piece of paper. Label one Controllables and the other Uncontrollables. List down worries or matters occupying your thoughts under these headings. Such visual demarcation helps reinforce the habit of directing energy and attention only towards what you can influence, thereby decluttering the mind of unnecessary concerns. Each time you catch yourself mulling over the uncontrollables, consciously remind yourself to let go. You might even develop a small personal ritual to signify this action, such as writing the concern down and then physically discarding the paper in a trash bin. This act can be a powerful symbol of mentally letting go of things outside your control. This practice of distinguishing between controllables and uncontrollables serves to simplify life's complexities. By investing energy only where it counts, you not only make your mental processes more efficient, but also your actions more effective. It's a liberating realization that not everything warrants your worry or your time, and that acceptance can dramatically cut down the cycle of overthinking. By embracing what you can change and letting go of what you cannot, you open up more space for peace, productivity, and present moment awareness in your life. Number 3, set worry periods. It may seem counterintuitive to deliberately schedule time to worry, but this Stoic-inspired strategy can be profoundly effective in managing and eventually reducing overthinking. By allocating a specific time each day for processing your worries, you can contain the mental sprawl of overthinking and regain control over when and how you engage with your concerns. The concept of worry periods is rooted in the Stoic practice of preparing oneself mentally for challenges, but it also incorporates modern cognitive behavioral techniques. It involves setting aside a defined period, say 15 to 20 minutes, each day during which you allow yourself to fully focus on whatever is causing you anxiety or stress. Outside of this designated time, each time a worrying thought surfaces, you simply write it down and defer it to your scheduled worry period. Here's how to effectively implement this technique. Ideally, select a time that's not too close to bedtime to avoid these thoughts affecting your sleep. Late afternoon or early evening is typically practical, as it allows you to review the day's events and address any arising issues before the next day begins. During the day, whenever an anxious thought enters your mind, Jot it down on a notepad or a digital app designed for note-taking, and then turn your focus back to your current task. This action reassures your mind that the thought will be addressed, making it easier to let go at the moment. When the set time arrives, go through your list. For each item, consider practical actions you can take to address the concern or prepare for possible outcomes. If a worry is not within your control, refer back to the previous Stoic lesson. Consciously decide to accept it and move on. This process not only helps in narrowing down genuine concerns from mere hypotheticals, but also fosters a proactive rather than reactive mindset. At the end of each worry period, reflect on the nature of your worries. You'll often find that many did not escalate into the significant problems you might have anticipated. This realization can diminish the intensity and frequency of worries over time. By compartmentalizing your worries into a specific time frame, you gradually teach your mind that there is a place and time for concern, and it's not all the time. This boundary setting is critical in reclaiming focus and reducing the relentless background noise of anxiety that fuels overthinking. With practice, worry periods can not only manage, but significantly diminish your overthinking, freeing up mental energy for more constructive and fulfilling pursuits. Number 4, challenge your thoughts. In our quest to stop overthinking for good, challenging the veracity and usefulness of our thoughts is an indispensable strategy. This Stoic technique is about developing a critical eye towards the narratives and assumptions that often run unchecked in our minds, fueling cycles of worry and rumination. Stoicism promotes an analytical approach, pushing us to question whether our thoughts are rational, based on facts, and ultimately helpful or merely speculative and fear-based. To implement this approach effectively involves a few key steps that can gradually shift your thinking patterns and reduce overthinking. Begin by examining the thoughts that frequently circle in your mind. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or just my interpretations? Often, overthinking stems from our interpretations of events rather than the events themselves. Scrutinize the evidence supporting your thoughts. If you find that a claim about a situation or another person's motives isn't substantiated by clear facts, acknowledge that these thoughts may not be reliable. Use logical reasoning to assess whether your thought patterns are constructive. Ask, is worrying about this situation in any way useful or productive? If a thought or worry won't change the outcome or help in preparing for it, it's likely unproductive. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius emphasized focusing energy only on what contributes to good outcomes, encouraging us to dispense with anything else. This might sound like a way to fuel anxiety, but it's actually a grounding exercise in Stoicism. Consider the worst possible outcome and how likely it is to happen. Then, think through how you would handle it. Often, this reduces the fear surrounding potential negative outcomes, putting into perspective that you can manage even if the worst were to happen. This process is about diminishing the unknowns that often power overthinking. Transform negative, over-analytical thoughts into more positive, actionable ones. For instance, instead of thinking, "I'll never get this right," you could reframe it to, "I haven't mastered this yet, but I can improve through practice and patience." This shifts your mindset from a passive state of overthinking to an active state of problem-solving and growth. Embracing mindfulness helps in observing your thoughts without immediate attachment or reaction. Observing thoughts as they arise and assessing them before reacting can prevent the spiral of overthinking. With consistent practice, you'll find that not every thought deserves a reaction or even a second thought. Applying these techniques helps you build mental fortitude and a more stoic approach to everyday challenges, empowering you to dismantle overthinking patterns piece by piece. Rather than being led by speculative or negative thought loops, you learn to lead with logic, constructive action, and reasoned calm, keys to not only stopping overthinking, but also living a more deliberate and satisfied life. Number 5. Practice mindful meditation. Mindful meditation, an exercise that involves focusing intently on the present without judgment, offers a profound route to battling the habitual inroads of overthinking. This practice aligns closely with Stoic principles which encourage present-mindedness and an observational stance toward one's thoughts and emotions. By integrating mindful meditation into your daily routine, you equip yourself with a powerful tool to detach from the often automatic process of overthinking and to gain a more tranquil and controlled state of mind. To effectively adopt mindful meditation, follow these structured steps. The core of mindfulness is the breathing exercise. Sit in a comfortable position in a quiet space. Close your eyes and focus solely on your breathing. Pay attention to the rhythm. Inhale deeply through your nose. Feel your chest expand and exhale slowly through your mouth. This basic practice helps center your mind, pulling it back from past regrets and future anxieties to the current moment. Once you are comfortable with basic breathing exercises, expand your mindfulness to include bodily sensations and sounds around you. Notice the weight of your body on the chair, the texture of your clothing against your skin, or the distant hum of traffic. The aim is not to think about these sensations, but merely to acknowledge them as part of your present experience. As thoughts and emotions surface during meditation, practice observing them without judgment or engagement. Treat them as if they were leaves floating down a river, noting their presence but letting them drift by without getting attached. This step is crucial in developing the ability to disengage from distressing or overactive thoughts. Consistency is more beneficial than duration. Start with 5 minutes a day and gradually increase the time as you feel more comfortable. Even short, consistent sessions can significantly impact your ability to manage thoughts and reduce overthinking. Many find guided meditations helpful, especially in the early stages of practice. These can provide a structured way to ease into mindfulness, often including soothing narratives or specific instructions that help maintain focus and prevent the mind from wandering. The practice of mindful meditation provides more than just immediate relief from overthinking. It cultivates a sustained awareness and control over where your mental energy goes. Over time, this Stoic-like observation and non-engagement with every intrusive thought can transform your mind into a more tranquil, focused, and resilient entity. By actively choosing which thoughts to engage with, you reclaim control over your mental landscape, reducing the power and prevalence of overthinking in your life. Number 6. Simplify your decision-making. One common trigger for overthinking is the overwhelming array of choices and decisions we face daily. The Stoic approach to this challenge is not about eliminating these choices, but simplifying the decision-making process by focusing on what aligns with our core virtues and values. This method reduces the mental clutter that often leads to analysis paralysis, where overthinking obstructs positive action and clear decision-making. To implement this Stoic lesson in your everyday life, consider the following steps. Begin by reflecting on what truly matters to you. What are your core principles? Stoicism teaches us to value wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. Determine your personal and professional values that are non-negotiable and use these as your guiding light in decisions. This clarity significantly narrows down the options, making the decision process smoother and less prone to overthinking. When faced with a decision, filter your options through your core values and virtues. Ask yourself questions like, does this choice reflect my values of honesty and integrity, or is this in line with my commitment to sustainability? This filter quickly helps eliminate options that don't align with your essential beliefs, reducing the burden of choice. Before diving into decision-making, establish clear criteria that a suitable option must meet. This might include factors such as cost, time investment, personal enjoyment, and alignment with long-term goals. Having these criteria in place beforehand can make it easier to evaluate your options without falling into the trap of over-analyzing every possible outcome. Research has shown that too many choices can lead to decision fatigue and increased dissatisfaction. By consciously limiting your options to a manageable number, you prevent the feeling of being overwhelmed, which often leads to overthinking. Decide to choose from no more than 3 to 5 options for any decision. This limit encourages more decisive action and satisfaction with your chosen path. Reflect on previous decisions where you successfully applied your values and emerged satisfied with the outcome. These reflections reinforce the effectiveness of value-based decision-making and build confidence in your ability to choose wisely without excessive deliberation. By streamlining your decision-making process and anchoring it in your core values, you not only simplify the cognitive load involved, but also ensure that your choices are meaningful and fulfilling. This Stoic lesson empowers you to act with purpose and resolve, freeing you from the clutches of overthinking that often accompany complex decision scenarios. Ultimately, this approach leads to a more decisive, determined, and harmonious life, reducing anxiety and increasing contentment. Number 7. Accept imperfection. The relentless pursuit of perfection can be a major driving force behind overthinking. When we set unrealistically high standards for ourselves and others, every decision and action becomes a potential point for criticism and endless rumination. Stoicism, however, teaches us the value of accepting imperfection, not as a concession to mediocrity, but as an embrace of human reality. This acceptance is crucial for mitigating overthinking and fostering a healthier, more balanced approach to life's challenges and our own personal growth. Here's how you can actively practice accepting imperfection. Amor fati, a Latin phrase that translates to love of fate or love of one's fate, is a Stoic notion which encourages acceptance and appreciation of everything that happens, including our failures and shortcomings. Instead of obsessing over every little imperfection, learn to see them as natural parts of your life's journey. This doesn't mean giving up on striving for improvement, but acknowledging that perfection is an unreachable and often unnecessary goal. Overthinkers often expect too much, both from themselves and from others. By setting more reasonable, attainable goals, you can significantly reduce self-imposed pressure and disappointment. When making plans or setting objectives, ask yourself if your expectations are truly realistic or if they need adjustment. Remember, achieving a series of smaller goals can be more motivating and satisfying than struggling unsuccessfully with one lofty aim. Show the same kindness to yourself that you would offer to a friend. When you notice that you're criticizing yourself for a mistake or a shortfall, pause and reflect. Would you judge another person so harshly for the same issue? Extended to others, this practice of compassion can lead to more empathetic interpersonal relationships, reducing conflicts and misunderstandings that often fuel overthinking. Every misstep is an opportunity for growth. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of spiraling into what went wrong, focus on what can be learned from the experience. Adopt the habit of conducting post-event analyses, where you identify not only setbacks, but also what was gained from the experience, skills learned, knowledge acquired, or simply insight into how to do better next time. In your ongoing battle against overthinking, take time to acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Whether it's a day where you manage your worry periods well, or you made a decision quickly without defaulting to over-analysis, recognizing these small victories can bolster your confidence and reinforce your new Stoic habits. Accepting imperfection is liberating. It frees you from the unrealistic burdens of overthinking every potential error or flaw and enables you to focus on progression rather than perfection. This alignment with Stoic thought not only promotes personal well-being, but also enhances your resilience, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. As we conclude our exploration of the 7 powerful Stoic lessons to stop overthinking, remember that the journey to mastering your thoughts is a progressive one. Each step taken towards embracing these Stoic principles is a stride away from the shackles of overthinking that can cloud judgment and impede our daily joy and productivity. Our discussion today doesn't just offer methods to reduce overthinking. It provides a transformational philosophy for living a more focused and fulfilling life. Remember, Stoicism isn't about suppressing your thoughts or emotions. It's about managing them with wisdom and clarity. It teaches that while we may not control external events, we can certainly control our responses to them. By cultivating a mental discipline rooted in present-mindedness, rationality, and acceptance, we equip ourselves to face life's complexities with a calm and effective mindset, reducing the urge to overthink and worry unnecessarily. I encourage each of you to implement these lessons slowly and consistently, whether it's through setting worry periods, challenging irrational thoughts, or simplifying decision-making processes. Each tactic has the potential to significantly uplift your mental landscape. Pay attention to the changes you observe in your thought patterns and overall well-being as you integrate these practices. Overthinking is a habit, and like any habit, it can be unlearned with patience and persistence. If you found these insights useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps us to bring more content that can make a difference in your life and the lives of others around you. Let's continue to support each other in our journeys towards greater mental freedom and resilience. And as we part ways today, take a moment to affirm to yourself, I control my mind. It does not control me. I invite you to share this affirmation in the comments below. Your words could inspire someone else to take the first step toward overcoming overthinking. Together, let's foster a community bound by the pursuit of wisdom, tranquility, and personal growth. Thank you for spending your time with us. Remember, a Stoic mind is not built in a day, but day by day.